Hey, everybody.
Hi.
What's up, guys? So we're here for a review of some controversy. We're talking about Beauty and the Beast, and Trudy absolutely loved this movie, and Sean, not so much. Sean, tell the people how you feel.
I feel that this is an unnecessary movie, to be sure, and yeah, this movie doesn't need to be. Just go watch the original Beauty and the Beast. It's much more high quality production.
Trudy, your thoughts?
I enjoyed it. I didn't see anything wrong with it.
So
Emma Watson killed the part.
Yes.
So we have some disagreement today.
Auto-tune was working overtime on her singing. I'm just gonna say that.
I was about to say,
But
I
who
didn't
doesn't
know
use auto-tune
she
these days?
could sing
How
at
about the
all.
professional opera singer that
Okay,
played the wardrobe, who was relegated to one goddamn song, and even then she was back fiddle to Emma Stone's auto-tuned. That's
She
bullshit.
terrified you the
Emma
first time you
Watson.
seen
She
her.
was horrifying because she has no eyes.
Emma Watson?
Emma Watson? No, she was fine as Belle so long as she didn't have to sing. Weirdly enough, she had more chemistry with her dad, I thought.
That was kind of weird.
Well, I have a theory with that, and I think it's because she was actually able to act alongside him as a person, rather than it just being this potentially not their person on stilts.
I was about to say, I'd like to, I'm going to find and put some footage in. I want to know how they did their scenes. Like, do you think it was, like, I'll have pictures
judging
to
from the
figure it out,
reaction, if they actually had somebody there on set to play off, I'll honestly be surprised, because it looked a lot like somebody who was having to stand there and look straight at nothing and deliver a line without doing anything.
I was thinking maybe it
or
was
playing off of anything.
I was thinking maybe they had the actor there in like a green suit and like
Yeah.
the
They
clothes
may
on.
have, but I don't know.
That's what I was assuming.
Because, I mean, the delivery of the lines back and forth, but, like, you're talking about how her having to look and deliver a line, like, the actor who played the Beast, like, in his human form, was much shorter, so they could have had him there kind of doing the green
Like I
stuff,
say, it's possible, but judging from past experiences of actors who have had to act off of nothing, Ewan McGregor in particular, with Star Wars... No, he seriously described having to act against nothing when he's confronting General Grievous in Episode 3.
Oh, yeah.
He said it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
And that's what I think probably happened with this. But, yeah, this movie is a shot-for-shot, well, not an entire shot-for-shot remake, but basically a shot-for-shot remake of Beauty and the Beast. It's not quite Gus Van Sant's Psycho level of awful, because they do add a few things. There's like one scene, I think, that adds a little bit extra to it. Apart from that, there were a couple of things that really pissed me off.
I could hear you sighing through the movie. Yeah.
Well, most of the sighing was just, why are we sitting here? I could be watching something that took a lot of technical skill, a lot of creativity and effort, and had a way better color palette.
Okay, I'm just
In a
going to say
1991 original...
I gotta say something right here and right now. You did hate this movie. I mean, I know you didn't.
I didn't hate this movie. I didn't like it. There was a huge difference.
Okay, well, I think the reason that you didn't like it and Trudy did like it is obvious. Trudy's a girl. This was definitely made as
I don't know. I mean, like I say, I love the original Beauty and the Beast. I think it's a wonderful movie. It's grand. It's sweeping. It has lots of bright colors. It's got a lot of great cinematography. The songs are fantastic.
I think it's you trying to compare it to the original.
How do I not compare this to the original?
Okay.
I know you don't want to do this. Let it stand on its own. Great. Show me an original movie. We're going to have this exact same fucking conversation when Ghost in the Shell comes out.
Oh, we're watching Ghost in the Shell?
Yes, we're going to watch Ghost in the Shell. It's probably going to suck ass.
I mean, I guess I see your point as to where, like, you know, unlike Cinderella did a couple of years ago, it was definitely different than the original.
I didn't like that movie either, but I will give that movie at least some credit that it did something. It took a different story to it, a different view to it.
And this one, they basically did make a shot-for-shot remake. But I think it was mostly made for women who loved the original, and
then watch the original,
giving them a live action version of that.
Why
because we couldn't have done a live action version of this in 1991.
But again, the question is asked, why do you need a live action version? Well, I say that the original animated version required more skill, more precision, more just about everything.
I'm sorry, for me, the Beast will always be Ron Perlman. You forgot about that Beauty and the Beast.
I didn't forget about it, but it wasn't the first thing that entered my mind, and so I guess things could have been a lot worse. It could have been really long and boring. Oh, right. No. No, I think they just tried too hard to be the original, and it comes off really, really stilted like that. The new guy, whoever they got to be Beast, it very much delivers his lines like Robbie Benson did. Robbie Benson? Is that his name?
I'll find out.
Yeah, put his name down in the description. I forget the original person's name. Honestly, for the longest time, I thought he was Keith David. He sounded so powerful with it. But it just... okay, there's one scene in particular that really there's a few things in particular that really cheese me off. First of all is the book. They have a book they can open up and go anywhere in the world. And I'm like, okay, this solves a lot of very interesting questions. Like, why didn't she just leave? Who could leave the castle? Could they do anything outside the castle? And this says, yes, they could go anywhere. But Beast is like, I could never show my face in public. Everyone would kill me because I'm a beast. I'm like, all right, I'll accept that. But then her father's in trouble, and she leaves, and she doesn't use the book. She just rides off on the horse, and I'm like, your dad's about to be thrown in jail?
Okay.
Why wouldn't you use instant transmission to get there like that?
It was from your inner heart where you wanted to be.
It wasn't you were really there. It was you were taken to where you wanted to go, but it was like in your head.
It was
a vision.
I don't think so, because he offered to take Belle out to the Arc de Triomphe.
Yes, but that says that it was in their head right there, because he offered to take her there after he just said he couldn't show his face.
No, it didn't say he couldn't. He just said things would happen.
Exactly.
They would probably beat the hell out of me. But you know what? He offered because he offered out of the goodness of his heart, because he's actually a nice guy. Speaking of which, why does he need a fucking tragic backstory?
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Why couldn't he have just been a prince in a time when being a rich asshole was kind of the thing to do to poor people, and then have him learn the lesson of humility? No, he can't just have been a bad guy. He was raised bad. It's not his fault. Fuck you.
No, he was raised to be a douchebag.
Yeah, I know. Why? Why do we need that? Why couldn't he have just been
It explains why he was an asshole.
He was a rich asshole in France!
Because his dad was a rich asshole.
Spoiler alert! Most rich people in France were assholes!
So that's why he was an asshole, his dad.
But do we need the fact that he was raised to be an asshole?
They're just explaining a little bit more into it.
Does it need to be there, though? It doesn't add anything. It doesn't help the character.
To Disney,
it actually takes away from his redeeming qualities, because he's no longer overcoming something that he personally chose to be. He's overcoming something that was thrust upon him.
I don't know.
Do you get where I'm going with this?
Man, this is the one, like, I'm gonna be the opposite, man. I thought this movie was pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, I was not as into it as Trudy was, but... Like,
I'm so polar opposite end of the spectrum, because I enjoy the original so much.
See, I was too young for, like, I remember the original, but I haven't gone back and watched it.
You
recently.
should. It's honestly a really charming movie.
I chose not to do that.
I didn't watch the original before I came and watched this either. This is working entirely on my own memory of this movie, which I think should show that I have a very good memory of this movie because I enjoy this movie. I will say the scenes that are from the original movie that they update a little bit, like the ballroom, that was a really good scene. The instruments on the wall playing themselves while not Angela Lansbury is singing Beauty and the Beast. That was a really good part. That was really cool. I like that. I like the idea of the Beast having a book where he can go anywhere, but knowing that he'll never be accepted in public creates an interesting dichotomy for him. So I like these aspects, but they never do anything with them.
We're going to have to go back and double check on this book thing, because I really think it's just kind of
I don't think it is.
vision that puts him there.
I don't think it is, because I perked up for this. I was really paying attention. I was like, oh, this is neat. This is interesting. This is new. Let's work with this. And they go back and they explain her mom's death. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because she brought the rattle back.
She brought the rattle back.
Yeah.
You might be
she brought the rattle back
that.
from her mother's house, who apparently died of the plague. And so I'm like, oh, okay. That doesn't really add anything. But it doesn't take away anything from the character, unlike the Beast's backstory.
I think it helped her kind of like
it explained
with her dad be like, I know. I get it.
It explained a little bit that a lot of Disney movies didn't, in why the lead character did not have a mother in the story, which always ended up being kind of weird.
Yeah.
So I mean, I understand that, and I'm like, oh, okay, that adds a little flavor to it, adds a little extra.
So let's get let's.
But hang on, because I'm going to give one last real serious gripe about this. I'm very sorry, Trudy. I know you enjoyed this movie, but this part pissed me off beyond belief.
Okay.
It's the scene when the Beast tells her to go to her father.
Okay.
And how much is lost just in minutia from the original. Because in this version, she sees him in trouble and is like, you must go. And that's it. And I'm like, you've just come to terms with the fact that this is someone you care about so deeply you would be willing to let them free of this, potentially freeing you if it meant making them happy. In the original, there's a lot of emotion, there's a lot of back and forth just in his facial expressions as he looks from the mirror to the rose and then back to her, and you can hear it in his voice when he says, then you must go to him. And there's so much that's lost in this little segment where it's just like, my father's in trouble. You must go.
No, he said, then you must go.
But it's not what he says, but how he says it. It's what's portrayed in the moment. And that is what is lost in a lot of this. And that's why
It must have been like...
That and the teapot was horrifying.
It might have been details with the CG that they couldn't get worked out. Maybe
they got it worked out in a 1991 animated film by hand. Well, how difficult would it be to use 2016 computer technology?
I don't know.
There we go.
You don't know who's working at Disney right now. You never know. But they did that whole little scene.
Pixar does it.
After about how he felt about it. There was the whole scene where he was...
Yeah, that really confused the hell out of me.
That was probably because they were trying to... Maybe that's why there wasn't as much emotion, because they were leading up to that song.
But why do you need the song if you can pack the emotion?
To fill an extra 30 minutes?
I guess.
Or to give you the song because the CG didn't work out to give the emotion.
There's so many...
But again,
It could have been. We never know. But I want to get to...
feel that this...
I want to get to something that everybody's kind of... Like, the big issue with this movie to everybody.
Oh, yes. How the entire Midwest is completely against having a character who likes dudes, despite the fact that it's in a movie, a story about potential bestiality and Stockholm Syndrome.
Right.
Yeah, that's the worst thing. Oh, my God, a man likes another man. How will I explain this to my children when I watch a furry almost molest a woman kept in his keep? How do I explain this?
So, like, I guess I kind of like.
I think the gay community got cheated on this.
I mean, I
LeFou-
always expected LeFou to be gay. Like, I thought it. Like,
it's
I
not-
thought it was like an unimplied thing by Disney back in the day.
Honestly,
He's
yeah,
just
it was,
kind of-
and it works out way better without it being directly implied. Because,
Yeah, dude,
and no
they
offense to
kinda made
Josh
him-
Gad, I think he did the best with what he had.
They made him over the top gay.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
definitely made him way over the top. I half expected him to do a snip snap,
I thought the
just stand there and go like, Gaston, we done.
No, I thought it was kind of funny at the end though, with like the one of the like just kind of little Gaston henchmen, like they threw a dress on him, and I was like, and I called it. I was like, there's LeFou's man right there. And at the end, they were dancing together.
Congratulations,
Fabulous.
you picked up on the very, very obvious
Obvious,
foreshadowing.
But the other henchmen were happy.
Would you like to
too.
make the bold claim that Anakin Skywalker's going to become Darth Vader at the end of Episode 3 too? Maybe
No.
him and Obi-Wan are going to fight.
Maybe.
Maybe Emperor Palpatine is going to be a douchebag.
All right.
Maybe the Scar is going to betray Mufasa.
No.
What do you think, Jared?
No, that could
Such a
never
douchebag.
happen.
Of course not.
Not ever.
They get along so well.
So well.
Jeremy Irons and
Now you
I
look
just-
like
I
an
just
ass.
blanked.
Fuck you.
I just blanked on. Fuck, he was Darth Vader's voice.
James Earl
Jones. Thank you, Christ, dude. I've been up since like 8:30 last night. All right, shut the fuck up.
Oh, dude.
I've worked 2 jobs.
Dude, I do too. Fuck you.
How did this turn into F you? I'm busy. I made time to come to your shitty movie. Top that. And I put you in my video games. No, I just feel that this is.
You know what?
I feel that this is an unnecessary movie to make when you could have made something else.
They're making Mulan.
What?
What?
Yeah, there's gonna be a live action Mulan,
Oh,
dude.
fuck that noise.
Where'd you hear that at?
Mulan wasn't that great to begin with. I hate to tell you this,
dude. There's
kids,
a
but-
lot of like, you know what? I
They're
think
doing
Disney
a
has
lot of
killed it
remakes.
with like other. I think the transition from their animated to live action, they're just trying to spark
They're trying
the
to do
love
everything.
that people remember, and that's why. Like Cinderella didn't do that well when they put Cinderella out. It did okay, but it did not do fantastic.
Well,
so
the problem
they
with
took
Cinderella
the shot
is-
for shot, angle with this
Right.
because they have had live action work before. Like, it'd be the same if we got like Disney, if Disney redid, like, Snow White's been redone in live action, but if Disney decided to do that, I guarantee they'd shot for shot, because
You know what
this
these are?
movie made $170 million.
Yes, it did, and I'm really sorry about that, because that means we're going to get more live action remakes.
I guarantee we're gonna get a shot for shots, Snow White and Seven Dwarfs.
That's gonna suck. This is what we are. This is where we're at now. Disney's animated stuff, doing fine. Disney's live action stuff has become the Disney sequels. Those direct-to-video movies that are hit and miss, like real hard hit and miss. It's sort of in left field there, and then there are some that's like, my God, that was like a mile and a half away from you. Why did you even swing at that? And I'm not feeling good about the next one that comes out. If you're one of those people who hasn't seen Beauty and the Beast before, I'd say go see this. I wouldn't recommend the 3D.
I don't see a lot of people who probably haven't seen that movie though.
You
I
never know.
think-
The
I
I
little
think a big majority of the people who are going to see it are
Like,
people who've seen it, except for the children.
little kids, I would say go ahead, let them see this, but definitely show them the original, because that
beforehand.
I'd just say period. I stand by my statement. I think the original is as damn close to a masterwork as you can get. It was the first animated movie to be nominated for an Academy Award, won Best Song.
This man is a plethora of knowledge.
What can I say? I know my stuff. But it really felt... I don't want to say... I hesitate to use the term it felt like a betrayal. Because it didn't really betray anything. This is the same problem I have with people who are like, oh, this movie ruined my childhood. It's like, really? This movie usurped the original and there's no way for you to watch it again?
No, this movie
I can go back and I can watch the original Beauty and the Beast. And I'll enjoy it just as much as I did then. But...
I'm
there's not enough new for me to sit there and go, yeah, this is all right.
With me, like, it was, like, I don't remember the original that well because I've only seen it a handful of times. And
you really should give it a watch.
I mean, I guess I will, but I enjoyed it, but I guess my thing is I enjoyed the actors in this movie.
Yeah.
Like, Luke Evans killed it, dude.
No, I will.
Luke Evans was an amazing Gaston.
Luke Evans as Gaston did a really good job. But then again, look at what he had to work with from the last time. I mean, there wasn't a lot to Gaston the first time around.
Yeah.
Essentially, all you had to do was be shallow and mean. And he was shallow and mean.
I mean, I've seen Luke Evans miss
I classified that under the shallow part.
I guess. I feel
but I mean, I thought Emma Watson did a great job as Belle.
I did too.
She was good when she didn't have to sing. Or act against a giant CGI nothing.
Like,
which unfortunately isn't a lot of this movie.
The biggest thing with this movie, though, is I think there was a lot of inner monologue and shit like the last one was kind of like that, but it was all implied. That may be something else that was kind of lost. I think you may or may not have had a problem with that.
A little.
You know, there was a couple jokes here and there. My biggest thing with Beauty and the Beast, though, and this is just me personally, is if you can get a woman to love you as a beast, why? I wouldn't want to change back. Like, or I'd want like a, like a werewolf thing, like go back and forth, like, because we even heard the joke at the end. How would you like to grow a beard?
Jared, is this your confession that you're into furry porn?
No.
No, he's just into Teen Wolf and he watches too much of it.
No, I'm saying if you could be...
You into Teen Wolf porn? Is that it?
No, I'm not into...
No, he just
Shut
likes
up.
Teen
I'm
Wolf.
saying if you could, like, be a freaking, like, monster that's super strong and do all this shit, I wouldn't want to be a normal man after that.
I think I know what's going on here. He's thinking the beast becomes bigger... Wink.
Oh, God.
So everything else appears bigger.
Shut up.
I think he just watches too much Teen Wolf.
No.
I think that's what's going on.
It's not any of that. I'm saying, if I had...
Jed, tell me about your mother.
Well, he's just
She
saying...
left.
Did you have a healthy relationship with her?
She left.
There's the problem. You wish to have the bigger wolf penis? Or probably have sex with your mother.
No.
Oh.
Sigmund Freud, ladies and gentlemen.
I think we're done. I think we're done. Jared's conflicted in his mind. I think we're done.
If you've never seen
My
Beauty and the Beast
argument
before,
was completely lost. I'd say go see this movie. I liked it.
I would say catch a
liked it
matinee and don't do the 3D. The shots end up being way too close up. The atmosphere is very, very muddy, and there are way too many close-ups on faceless furniture people.
Okay, so 2D, see it, and
there is one other thing I wanted to point out, and I forgot to talk about this earlier, and it's something that helped drive a distinction. I'll pose this to Trudy, since you've remembered the original better. In the original Beauty and the Beast, who wore blue?
Didn't the Beast wear blue?
the Beast.
Yeah.
Beast and
No. Didn't Gaston wear blue?
No, he wore red. But that is the entire point. Those were distinctive colors, bright and vibrant, that clashed against the mundane, every other colors that everyone else wore. In this movie, everybody's wearing blue.
Yeah, everybody's wearing
There's
blue.
no real distinction for a color palette.
Even the girls were the only ones who wore something different, and it was such a light pink it looked white.
Yeah.
So everything
So-
was either white
I'll agree with
lightish
that.
pink and a blue.
I remember the colors.
And it created a visual distinction for the original that this one unfortunately
the
does
only
not
one
have.
that was really vibrant was her dress. That yellow was very vibrant.
Which is in this movie.
Yep.
Yes.
So you'll get the dress.
Okay. So,
Just watch the original. It's shorter, it's nicer.
so watch this one and the original. It was good for what it was trying to do.
I'd watch it on Netflix, maybe. I honestly couldn't justify going back to the theater for it.
Trudy.
I'd watch it. Sorry. There's a guy taking pictures of his car.
I think it's the dealership across the street.
Yeah.
But yeah, I
The
definitely.
dealership parks in this parking lot.
I definitely say go see it.
We're at my job. Alright, guys. Well, until next time, we will see you guys later, and we'll see you guys later this week for Power Rangers! And we'll finally decide who wins the bet, Sean or me.
All I'm saying is, might want to have some Twitter handles for Jared.
Nope.